Imagine this. You wake up one morning, just like any other day. You check your phone, read a few messages, scroll through social media, look at your bank balance, pay a bill online, open your email, and continue with your daily routine. Everything feels normal. Nothing seems suspicious. Nothing appears out of place. But somewhere, perhaps on the other side of the world, someone you have never met may be trying to access your accounts, trying to steal your passwords, trying to enter your email, trying to obtain your personal information, or even attempting to take control of your digital identity. And the most surprising part is this: they may never see you, never speak to you, never visit your city, never come anywhere near your home. Yet they can still pose a threat. Welcome to the world of cybersecurity, a hidden battlefield that exists behind nearly every digital activity in modern life. A world where conflicts are not fought with tanks, not fought with fighter jets, not fought with traditional weapons, but with computers, networks, algorithms, and data. Because in the 21st century, information has become one of the most valuable assets humanity possesses, more valuable than most people realize. Your photos, your messages, your financial records, your medical information, your passwords, your location history, your personal documents, your business data. All of it exists somewhere in digital form. And whenever something valuable exists, someone will inevitably try to steal it. To understand why cybersecurity has become so important, we first need to understand how dramatically the world has changed. Not very long ago, most information was physical. Important documents were stored in filing cabinets. Money was protected inside vaults. Photographs were printed and placed in albums. Business records were stored in archives. If someone wanted to steal information, they usually had to be physically present. They needed to enter a building, open a cabinet, access a room. Take something tangible. The risks were significant. The process was difficult. But the digital revolution changed everything. Today, nearly every aspect of life has a digital counterpart. We communicate online, shop online, work online, study online, store files online, transfer money online, manage businesses online. Even many of our memories now exist as digital files. This transformation has brought extraordinary convenience. Information moves instantly. Businesses operate more efficiently. People communicate across continents in seconds. Knowledge has become more accessible than ever before. But convenience often comes with a cost. The more information becomes digital, the more attractive it becomes to cybercriminals. And that is why cybersecurity has become one of the most important technological fields in the modern world. At its core, cybersecurity is the practice of protecting systems, networks, devices, and data from unauthorized access, theft, damage, or disruption. The goal sounds simple: protect information. But achieving that goal is remarkably complex because cyber threats come in many forms, and often they are far more creative than people expect. One of the oldest and most common threats is phishing. Imagine receiving an email from your bank. The logo looks authentic, the language appears professional, the message seems urgent. You are informed that your account requires verification. A link is provided. Everything looks legitimate. Everything appears trustworthy. But the email is fake. The website is fake. And the attacker has only one objective: to steal your login credentials. What makes phishing so effective is that it does not attack the computer. It attacks the human being. Because in many situations, the weakest part of a security system is not technology. It is people. No matter how advanced a company's security infrastructure may be, one careless click can open the door to an attacker. That is why cybersecurity is not only about technology, it is also about education and awareness. But phishing is only the beginning. Another major threat is malware. The term malware stands for malicious software specifically designed to cause harm. Malware can infiltrate computers, smartphones, servers, and networks. Some malware steals information. Some spies on users. Some damages systems. And some takes complete control of devices. Among the most notorious forms of malware is ransomware. Imagine turning on your computer one day. Instead of seeing your files, you are greeted with a message. Your data has been encrypted. Your documents are inaccessible. Your photos are locked. Your videos are unavailable. Your databases cannot be opened. Everything is inaccessible. Then comes a demand. Pay a ransom or lose your data forever. This is how ransomware operates. Over the years, ransomware attacks have disrupted hospitals, major corporations, government agencies, universities, and critical infrastructure around the world. The financial damage has reached billions of dollars annually. Then there is another threat that often goes unnoticed: password theft. Most people today maintain dozens of online accounts: email, social media, streaming services, banking applications, shopping platforms, cloud storage, and many others. The problem is that many people reuse the same password repeatedly. It feels convenient. It feels easier to remember, but it creates enormous risk. Because if one account is compromised, multiple accounts may suddenly become vulnerable. That is why cybersecurity experts strongly recommend unique passwords for every account. And whenever possible, the use of two-factor authentication, also known as 2FA. This security measure adds an additional layer of protection. Even if an attacker obtains your password, they still need a second verification code to gain access. That extra layer has prevented millions of account breaches worldwide. Yet, cybersecurity is not only about protecting individuals. It is equally important for organizations. Consider a modern bank. Every day, millions of transactions occur. Money moves continuously between accounts. Sensitive customer information is stored on servers. If security fails, the consequences can affect millions of people. The same is true for hospitals. Modern healthcare systems depend heavily on digital records, medical histories, laboratory results, prescription information, surgical records. If these systems are compromised, patient safety itself can be affected. The stakes become even higher when critical infrastructure enters the picture. Power plants, water treatment facilities, transportation systems, airports, communication networks, emergency response systems, all rely on digital technology, and all represent potential targets. This is one reason cybersecurity has become a matter of national security for many countries. Because protecting data is no longer just about protecting information, it is about protecting society itself. One of the most important technologies used to defend data is encryption. Encryption is the process of converting information into a coded form that unauthorized individuals cannot understand. Imagine writing a letter in a secret language that only the intended recipient can read. Even if someone intercepts the message, it appears meaningless. That is essentially how encryption works. Every day, billions of encrypted transactions occur without people even noticing. When you access online banking, when you send messages through secure applications, when you make online purchases, when you log into a website, encryption is quietly protecting information behind the scenes. But cybersecurity is not a static field. It is an ongoing competition. Every time defenders develop stronger security measures, attackers search for new weaknesses. Every time one vulnerability is fixed, another may be discovered. It resembles a never-ending game of chess, a constant cycle of attack and defense,
innovation and adaptation, protection and exploitation. And this cycle is becoming increasingly sophisticated. Today, artificial intelligence is playing a major role in cybersecurity. AI systems can analyze enormous amounts of network activity in real time. They can identify suspicious behavior, detect unusual patterns, recognize emerging threats, and alert security teams before serious damage occurs.
Imagine a security guard capable of monitoring millions of cameras simultaneously, never becoming tired, never losing concentration, never taking a break. That is one way to think about AI-driven cybersecurity. But there is an important twist. Attackers can use AI as well. Cybercriminals are beginning to use artificial intelligence to create more convincing phishing emails, automate attacks, identify vulnerabilities faster, and develop increasingly sophisticated techniques. In other words, AI is becoming a powerful tool for both sides, the defenders and the attackers. The future of cybersecurity may depend heavily on which side uses these technologies more effectively. Looking ahead, the challenge is only growing because the number of connected devices continues to increase rapidly. Smartphones, laptops, smart TVs, security cameras, smart watches, connected vehicles, home automation systems, industrial sensors, even refrigerators can now connect to the internet. This growing ecosystem is known as the Internet of Things, or IoT. And every connected device creates another potential point of vulnerability. Because security is often only as strong as the weakest component in a system. Sometimes that weak point is not a powerful computer. Sometimes it is a simple device that few people ever think about. Ultimately, cybersecurity is about far more than technology. It is about trust. Trust that our money is secure. Trust that our identities are protected. Trust that our private information remains private. Trust that the systems we rely on every day will continue to function safely. Because in today's digital world, data is not separate from our lives. Data is part of our lives. And protecting data means protecting ourselves. Perhaps one day, advanced artificial intelligence will automatically detect and stop most cyber threats before they can cause harm. Perhaps future security systems will be far more powerful than anything we have today. But as long as information has value, as long as data can be bought, sold, or stolen, and as long as technology continues to evolve, there will always be people working to protect it. And there will always be people trying to break through those defenses. And behind the quiet screens we interact with every day, that invisible battle continues. Silent, constant, unseen, yet affecting billions of lives around the world. Because in the digital age, one of humanity's most valuable resources is no longer gold, no longer oil, no longer land. It is information. And cybersecurity is the shield that protects it.